All throughout the 2023 NBA draft cycle, I continuously titled Victor Wembanyama the greatest prospect in NBA draft history. And at this point, I think I might have short-sold his talent. I'm going to say it here. I want you to hear me. Victor Wembanyama is going to be the best player to ever touch a basketball. And I know some of you are going to think, oh boy, overreaction, over-exaggeration. It's impossible to speak with hyperbole when you're discussing such a hyperbolic player. We will never see another 7'5", special, phenom, freak athlete who moves the way that he does, shoots the way that he does, passes the way that he does. Victor Wembanyama is a complete player, and he will be in the MVP conversation as early as this season and will remain in that conversation for a very long time here in the NBA. He dominated opening night of the NBA en route to 40 points, 15 rebounds, and 3 block shots against the Dallas Mavericks en route to a blowout win for the San Antonio Spurs. And speaking of hyperbole, some of these clips here from Victor Wembanyama are going to seem hyperbolic, but this is legitimately what he's doing on an NBA floor on national television. Some of this stuff, I watched this game live. My jaw was on the floor for a vast majority of the game. I could not believe what I was seeing. I knew immediately I had to record a video on this specific game itself, and what the future of the San Antonio Spurs looks like as a result is so incredibly bright. This guy is going to completely reshape the sport of basketball, and he is going to be the best player to ever play basketball. The things that he's capable of doing are unmatched throughout the course of NBA history, both recent and antique history. And if you look at his WOAH plays, this one being one of them, where he turns 7'1" Derek Lively into a grade school kid at a NBA camp, this stuff is not normal. And not only does he get an outrageous block there, but he brings the ball up the floor and says, oh yeah, I'm a 7'5" big, by the way. I'm going to hit you with a hezzy cross, step back, and one for a 4-point play. Victor Wembanyama had him in the blender there, and his ridiculousness didn't stop. This is one of my favorite plays from the opening week here so far of the NBA season. This is just unbelievable stuff, honestly. We get an empty side ball screen for the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg working toward an empty side corner with Derek Lively flowing into the pocket in his role. Devin Vassell is out of this play at this point in time. 99% of the time you think this is going to turn into a bucket against any other defender. Cooper Flagg, really talented player. Honestly, I think he makes the right read here. Throws a high lob up over the top of Wembanyama. The issue is it's almost impossible to get a basketball over the top of Victor Wembanyama. Gets the steal, gets out and runs. No look pass to Julian Champagnie in the corner. Nothing but net, and the San Antonio Spurs ran away with this game, and a lot of it stemmed from the greatness of Victor Wembanyama. Again, it's hard to be hyperbolic about a player who is so hyperbolic himself. And there was some real meaningful developments, too, in this game. Kind of a continuation of some of what we saw in the preseason when it came to contact balance and playing into traffic, playing into physicality. Those were some of the key areas Wembanyama needed to improve upon as a prospect coming out of Mets 92. And I think going into year 3 of his NBA career, he is beginning to actually scratch the surface of what he can be as a half-court offensive player. He dominated the Dallas Mavericks, and a big reason why was his ability to not only play into traffic and contact, but also to initiate it. And I think this clip here, to begin the game, just a couple minutes in on Wednesday night against the Dallas Mavericks, goes up against Derek Lively, driving to his left hand, and the moment that he feels contact, goes to a little bit of a chicken wing. I'm going to slow it down, just back it up a little bit. Watch his right elbow extend here. Not enough for an actual offensive foul call, but enough to create just a hair of separation, especially with his height and release point. Nobody in the NBA is getting to this shot, and he was cash from the mid-range area on night 1 of the season for the San Antonio Spurs. But it didn't stop there with his contact play and his ability to play physically, play into contact. Here he is against Anthony Davis, who is a multi-time all-defense member, one of the best defenders in the last 20 years in the NBA, and he made Anthony Davis routinely look small in comparison. This I thought was a great drive. Not one, but two strong bumps and a big right-hand finish over the top with a soft baby hook there. Here he is now working in the post against Najee Marshall. This one's a little bit different. This isn't necessarily your downhill finish that you're thinking about with contact. This is playing into traffic and playing balance. And specifically what I want to point to here is after a little bit of physicality here between Marshall and Wembanyama, especially Marshall being, a wing, it's hard to maintain that contact balance, especially when you're working laterally. And I think he does a great job here, still getting his feet underneath of him, playing through that contact, and then staying balanced off of it, raising up into that fadeaway, which he had working for him all night long. Here he is against Anthony Davis. Again, a hand check. AD constantly had to put his hands on Wembanyama to try and contain drives and penetration off the perimeter. And Wembanyama says, that's fine. You can put your hands on me. I'm going to play into that bump. I'm going to play into that contact. There's an and one. Anthony Davis can't believe it. But Spurs fans, get used to it because you're going to be seeing this a ton from Victor Wembanyama. There's a good ball fake. Again, Anthony Davis, you're noticing a lot of hand checking in this game because he just could not contain Victor Wembanyama off the bounce. Wemby working into it. Really beautiful footwork here into the traffic and into the contact. This is stuff that he wasn't doing 2 years ago. He just flat out wasn't. Anthony Davis got his hands and body draped all over Wembanyama here, trying anything he can to slow him down, and it just doesn't phase Wembanyama. Really nice step through here. Gets to his left hand, off balance, off the glass. This guy is insane. We are not going to see another player like this throughout the duration of NBA history. A 7'5" guy bringing it up like a guard, and then maintaining driving lines. This was perhaps the most impressive play of the night here. Again, playing into bumps, playing into contact, and staying balanced on it. Any other player is getting ran off their driving line here by Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, this is not to discredit him at all, by the way, in this video. I know it sounds like I'm doing that. It's to really showcase the greatness that we're seeing from Victor Wembanyama already in year 3 of his career. This is insane stuff. He is outside the restricted area, playing through bumps on a drive line to his non-dominant hand, and it turns into a poster dunk. This stuff is ridiculous. It's inhuman, and it sure as hell is not normal. Victor Wembanyama showcased his downhill force all night long with a ton of finishes at the rim. This one, again, early in the game stood out to me as well. Look at where his head is at. I know, obviously, he's 7'5". He's going to be getting his head up near the rim. But these are monster dunks. He is routinely putting down monster dunks at this point. And I think part of that is sending a message to the league saying, I'm not here to play around. I think Victor Wembanyama is tired of losing. Really nice give and go here. And again, there's just no team has a chance against this. Like, they just can't meet him at the rim physically. There's just not matchups for this in the league. I thought Dylan Harper had a pretty nice rookie debut. We'll have a video coming out on him shortly, I'm sure. Here in the future. Really great drive by him, going to his non-dominant hand to his right hand. Forces Anthony Davis, you notice, to step toward the drive, right? And now at this point, he is out of position to the rolling Victor Wembanyama, who is working toward the rim. Dylan Harper, I thought, did a great job finding Wembanyama, especially on this drive. It's a difficult passing angle behind him, is able to make the read. And again, Wembanyama, if you look at where his feet are when he's jumping here, he's leaving well outside the restricted area. And he just has the length, the wingspan, the reach to get to the rim from unorthodox positions of the court, and it's almost impossible to guard. Here he is rolling. A good pass here from Stephon Castle to a lifting Devin Vassell. And this is something I think the Spurs are working on, and they threw a ton of lobs on opening night. I think that they are realizing they have such a vertical presence that other teams just can't match. This was a tremendous pass by Devin Vassell. You get it up there, Wembanyama is going to not only catch it, but he's going to finish it as well. And this, I thought, was really the cream of the crop of the lobs tonight. In transition, a 7'5" guy running down the court like a gazelle and finishes it. This was really the moment that I thought the Spurs captured all the momentum in the arena, took over the game from here, ended up going on to have a huge blowout win. But of course, it doesn't just stop there. The defense was so impressive, and I know you guys are going to expect me to talk about the blocks. The blocks are obviously such an integral part. Led the league last year in blocks despite only playing in 46 games. He's going to do that again this year. He'll probably average 4+ blocks, and as long as he meets the games played requirement, he will win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't have any doubts or questions about that at all. The biggest thing is what else does he do besides the blocks? Now, some of these are still ridiculous, like cleaning that Cooper Flagg take off the glass is insane. Here's another really impressive one, the one you saw earlier, where he just completely suns Derek Lively, makes him look like a toddler in comparison. But the ability to defend out in space I thought was really impressive. This is a very early moment of the game, just 2 minutes into the first quarter here, and Cooper Flagg calls in isolation. This is like the, oh my gosh, everyone in American Airlines Center is ready for this moment. And Wembanyama was too. Holds his ground pretty well and uses his length to his advantage. Now, he is giving Cooper Flagg a decent amount of space here, court space specifically, but again, this is where that vertical component is so important. His ability, his length, his reach. This is still not an open shot for Flagg, despite all of this lateral space that he's giving him from a floor perspective. And that's where having a 7'5" player with an 8-foot wingspan just completely bends the normal physics, the normal court dynamics that you're used to seeing on an NBA floor. And ultimately, Cooper Flagg misses that shot there. But it wasn't just that one. Cooper Flagg, really great spin move here against Stephon Castle, beats him off the bounce. This is a sense of verticality that I thought Wembanyama came into this year with kind of a focus on improving in his own game, his own skill set. Not every defensive possession needs to end in a block for it to be a great one from Wemby. And again, if you look at this vertical component straight up like an arrow, and it just completely suffocates Cooper Flagg, who's a tremendous finisher at the rim, somebody who I think downhill, specifically with his athletic gifts, when he does play into contact and traffic, when he does have clean blow-bys, is such a tough guy to actually guard. Wembanyama just completely engulfs him here on this club. It's unbelievably impressive stuff. Here, Dwight Powell, not a very dynamic big by any stretch, is going into a handoff with Klay Thompson. And this is where I think Wembanyama, not only is he this huge, long, freakishly athletic player, he's also got the mental component really down. And I think the way that he defends this here meets Klay Thompson immediately with a high hand. This is understanding personnel. This is understanding scouting report. This is understanding, hey, Klay Thompson comes off a dribble handoff. I need to be up near the level of the screen. And Wembanyama is not missing that detail at all. Immediately ready to contest. Leaves his feet a little bit, but this is where his ability to change direction. Again, this is not normal stuff for a 7'5" player. Watch his hip flip here. He's left his feet. There's no way he should be able to recover here. If you just look at this still image, you would say there's zero chance that a 7'5" guy is able to flip his hips and recover to a wing driver at this point in time. But that's what's happened. That's what happens. He's able to maintain his foot balance, flip his hips completely, stay in the picture, and if you look at Klay Thompson, he's very clearly worried about the shot block from behind by Wembanyama, so he goes to this extended lay finish with the ball way stretched out ahead of him, and guess what? Wemby doesn't get the block here, but ultimately forces a miss and corrals it and saves it. It's unbelievable stuff in terms of coordination, hip fluidity, and IQ all meshed together into one player, which is what makes him so special, and it's honestly just such a joy to watch. I'm telling you right now, I'm watching all 82 games for the San Antonio Spurs this year because I need to see every single minute of this guy's career. If you have League Pass, you need to watch this guy every single night you possibly can because he is that good, and he will be an all-time great, no doubt about it. And like I said earlier in the video, I think he's going to be the best player to ever touch a basketball. Here, Anthony Davis had a really rough game from the field, in my opinion, especially when it came to making shots that he normally can make. Just didn't look comfortable all night long. Here he is on a long drive against Julian Champagnie. And again, the length. First of all, this is a really good drive contained by Champagnie, in my opinion, staying in front, playing into that physicality. But Wembanyama as a helper, like again, he doesn't get a block here, but clearly his impact is felt as Davis misses that one and the Spurs get out and run. I felt like San Antonio did such a good job getting out into space, running, and really exercising a lot of their youth, athleticism, and their length and size to their advantage. Wembanyama, of course, was the headliner of that. 40-point, awesome debut game for him this season, coming back from the blood clot issue that he had last year. First of all, we should all be hoping and praying that this guy stays healthy for the entire duration of his NBA career. But then from there, every other NBA team should be praying that they don't have to see this guy in future playoff series, because he is going to be such an impossible task. Offensively, he's gotten stronger. He's gotten more functional in his contact balance, his ability to play into traffic, play into physicality. But he's also improved as a shooter. Now, he only did take 2 3-point attempts on night one. Last year, he averaged about 8 3-point attempts per game. So that'll be an interesting dynamic to follow going forward. But this guy is unbelievable. And he will continue to be in the MVP conversation for a long, long time, because he's going to be a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate or finalist or favorite to win it. And he's also going to be putting up 30, 35 points per game in the near future. And if that's the case, the San Antonio Spurs might be in line for another dynasty.